Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my double review for Magi the Kingdom of Magic episodes 24 and 25. So I'll just start off with episode 24 here. Um, the medium wasn't destroyed. It's that simple. The medium wasn't destroyed. Um, all the damage that's being caused, uh, Kome was re-diverting it somewhere. I don't think he really specified where, um, but he was like re-diverting it somewhere else. And Cohen. Oh, by the way, since I'm doing like a double review, I have to take notes of like everything going on, so I didn't forget anything. So if I like start like just like staring blankly for some reason, then that's the reason, because I'm trying to remember what happened next by looking through my notes and stuff. All right, so Cohen, and after we see Kome redirect the damage elsewhere, Cohen mentions that their attack on the medium, while it didn't destroy it, at least managed to destroy the Jinn that were coming out from the medium. So like the fire attack that they did is still swirling around the medium, and any Jinn that tries to leave the medium ends up getting hit by it. So eventually it'll use up all of its Magoi, and that'll be that. However, that's not what happens, obviously. They go to Cohen and Alibaba, they go to go replenish their Magoi in the lava, but the medium gets rid of it all. It like grows arms and stuff, and it absorbs all the black Jinn that were already outside, and then it shape shifts and like changes its form to like a human-like, Jinn-like thing. Like a thing. That's all I can really call it, a thing, because like I said in my last review, this isn't even a villain. It's just a thing, which is what I don't like about it. Right? That's what I don't like. I didn't care about the entire first half of this episode because it was just them fighting not a villain but a thing. That's why I just didn't care. Um, I don't really feel anything at all. If it was a Kyoku and they were fighting, then yeah, I'd care. But it's not. It's a thing, right? But that thing starts to absorb Magoi from pretty much everything, really. It's it the while it was like after it had transformed, it connected itself to the dark spot, and it well, it didn't. It defended itself against Alibaba and Cohen, and it just dominated them, really. Um, and whenever it would make contact with them, it would like take off all their like layers of skin and crap, and they'd start looking like the colossal titan. All right, so minus the size, obviously, But Kogyo sees Alibaba and Cohen get dominated like that, and she decides, I'm gonna go avenge my brother. I'm gonna go avenge my lover. I mean, my friend. All right, and add in a little shipping in there. And she attacks the the medium. That wasn't funny at all. She attacks the medium, and she's actually able to damage it, unlike those two. Turns out that it can only create Borgs with its hands, so you have to hit it elsewhere. At first, I thought it was the power of love, but apparently there was actually a logical reason. But which is weird, you would expect from Magi anything that could possibly happen would be because of the power of feelings and stuff. But they surprised me this time. They used logic instead. And after Aladdin points out the weakness of well, not the weakness of the Borg, but how to hurt the medium, the Jinn medium, I guess it is, not the Jinn, whatever. Oh, whatever. It's still medium. All right, all right. He ends up. The point is that Aladdin creates Ugo and tries to help Kokiku out, but Ugo gets taken out like that easy. Then Kome, he decides to teleport the remaining siblings into the right position so that they can all use their extreme magic on the medium, and they do, and it does nothing. And Cohen heals himself, he heals Alibaba, they join in, does nothing. The medium ended up absorbing the Magoi from the sea, or absorbing the Rook from the sea. I guess the Rook, the Magoi. I don't even remember which one it was. It doesn't matter. The point is that it absorbed the stuff in the sea, the stuff. All right, and at this point, Aladdin decided to make a reference to Amatoran, about how they had to go fight a medium too, or I forgot how many he said. There were multiple mediums they had to fight, and he mentioned that Solomon had 72 members in his household, and they needed to fight the mediums with 73 people. Um, 72 plus Solomon. Yeah, we get okay, good. So yeah, they defeated multiple mediums, and these guys are having trouble with one. So they're clearly not as good as Solomon in his household. Clearly, though that should have been obvious. But yeah, they got dominated. Really, the medium took out Hakuei, then it took out Kogoku, then it took out Koha. Koha got wrecked. He got wrecked. He got it worse than all of them. Like his whole body was like a bloody mess, dude. It was, oh man. Uh, that was not good. Kome tried to get revenge for him. He like teleported a mountain on top of it. All right, he literally dropped a mountain on top of the medium. It did literally nothing. All right, nothing. And Gyokuin's just sitting back watching all this, like, dude, come on. It took Solomon and it took Solomon and his 72 household members to defeat the mediums. Now you're trying to do it with 13 people, or how many of it was it? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. The point is that it's a lot less than 72, alright? And this is when I actually started to care about the episode. This is when stuff started to get awesome. First, we get information from Gyokuen, alright? She explains that Aladdin is the reincarnation of Solomon, and that he was groomed by Solomon in Almatoran to become a Magi. Then he was sent to the sacred palace where Ugo was. Then he came to this world, right? And she doesn't stop there. She reveals that she herself is also a Magi from Almatoran, right? So that's big. She's the one who betrayed Solomon, on some Judas crap, right? She betrayed Solomon, and she was the one responsible for the destruction of Almatoran, pretty much. Pretty much. Um, there was a brief scene after this of Svintis finding Titus and Margot. We know what happened there. Um, though it wasn't like legitimately shown until the next episode, I don't think, but whatever. Not a big deal. It's Titus. No one gives a crap about Titus, or at least I don't. I mean, I assume other people shouldn't, but they do. I don't know why. Titus isn't. He's annoying. He's stupid. But whatever. This isn't a forget Titus. Um, yeah, the chapter continued to be the chapter. The episode continued to be awesome after this. Right, the medium tried to finish everyone off, but Sinbad shows up. Sinbad, the High King of the Seven Seas, the leader of the Seven Seas Alliance, shows up with members of the Seven Seas Alliance, people who have metal vessels just like him. They're all relatives of Sinbad's generals. Like Shah Khan's brother was there. What is her freaking name? Pisty? Pisty's mom. She was there. Um, Another dude was there. I couldn't tell if he was. I think like some guy related to Spartos was there. Then Hina Ho Ho, someone related to him was there too. Um, Maybe someone related to Dracon was there too. We don't know what Dracon. Or maybe we have seen it before. I don't remember. We probably saw what Dracon looked like before he is fully assimilated. But whatever. The point is that a bunch of people showed up. That's the main point here. A bunch of people showed up. All right. And yeah, speaking of being assimilated, there were some. It was them actually. Yeah, like the relatives of the generals and the people that Sinbad brought in. They were talking about how, other than Dracon, the people in Sinbad's household haven't assimilated yet. So it's insinuating that if you assimilate, you get a lot of power, pretty much. And Yunnan and Morgiana show up as well. And Yunnan says that if you assimilate, you can't go back to being human. So it's like you sacrifice your humanity. Excuse me. You sacrifice your humanity for power, pretty much. And Morgiana said that she wanted to assimilate so that she could be as powerful as possible to help Alibaba and Aladdin and all that. But that's not going to happen if it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Come on, it's Morgiana. You really think Aladdin and Alibaba? You think Alibaba especially is gonna let her assimilate just because to help it? Nah, nah, nah. That's not gonna fly. Um, but yeah. Oh, Morgiana has new powers too. Well, not new powers. It's just she's discovered different ways to use her current abilities, her household vessel. She can fly now. She has her chains surrounds them with with fire, and they allow her to fly. There we go. There we go. Um, and she can do attacks and things like that as well. Um, I remember in the manga she did like this big attack, but I don't remember if she did it in the anime. I can't remember her actually doing it. I didn't check to see if there was any like filler or any scenes taken out from these couple of episodes. So I don't know. Maybe I just forgot, but whatever. It's not a big deal. That's pretty much how the episode ends. All the people show up, and it was awesome. It was. The second half was awesome. The first half I didn't care for. So just say that that episode overall was an 8 out of 10. Right. So I'll give episode 24 an 8 out of 10. As far as 25 goes, um, after all those people show up, Mu shows up along with the other two metal vessel users from the Lame Empire. The one dude there, guys are saying, "Hey, why don't you need to activate your full gender equip too?" And he's like, "Shut up, I don't have one yet." That was funny. Um, you would think, all these children have full gender equips, but this adult doesn't have one yet. Like, yeah, that was kind of surprising. But whatever. Scheherazade, she shows up as well. She ends up sacrificing herself to replenish everyone's Magoi. All right, and once she dies, she was thinking of Aladdin and Alibaba, and she saw two people from her past, I would assume, who they reminded her of. Doesn't really matter because we're never gonna know because she's dead. Probably someone like, probably someone from that past she mentioned. Who cares? No, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna bother talking about this. All right, it doesn't matter. All right. Um, After they get their Magoi replenished from Scheherazade, they use it all up in one go with extreme magic, and they still can't defeat the medium. They still can't do it. All right. So at this point, you're thinking, all right, there's no way these guys can beat it. There's no power strong enough to defeat the medium, and that's when you're reminded. That's right. This is Magi, and it has friendship. It has the power of friendship and feelings and all the shonen crap in the world, alright? And in the end, that's what prevails over the freaking medium. I'm like, yo, you gotta be freaking kidding me, alright? This dude Titus, I just don't like Titus. I don't like him at all. The dude flip-flops all its freaking time. His character is so inconsistent, it's annoying. But whatever. He ends up his feelings were gave Mogamet like a change of heart like that. Like seriously, it was stupid. Um, Aladdin and Yamaraya went inside the medium to talk with him. It was more typical shonen crap. It was stupid. I literally did not care at all. We saw a scene of Hakuryu and Judal. That was cool. He has his full Jin equip now. Before it was like a half full Jin equip because he had the markings on one half of his face but not the other half, and like it was weird. It was a full Jin equip, but it was an incomplete full Jin equip. And that's what he had before. Now he has like a complete full Jin equip, right? Um, but yeah, this scene took up way too much time. They shouldn't have had the scene at all. It was stupid. All right, Logan he finally admitted to what I've been saying from day freaking one. All right, that he sucks pretty much. He sucks. I mean, as far as a villain goes, he's a good villain until now. Because okay, listen. All right, listen. Mogamet, for the longest time, was being this racist. He didn't give a crap about the Goy. He was being himself, pretty much. All right, he was being himself, and the last time we saw him, he was still trying to argue with Titus about how he was right. All right, and now I see him now, and it's like a complete 180. It's like, what? Like, I know you're not going to try and tell me that Titus alone was able to do all that. Like that. This dude was living like this for years and years and years, and you're telling me Titus alone was enough to make him do a complete 180 like that? That makes no freaking sense. I can't. And this isn't the first time that freaking Shinobu Otaka's done this too, right? She did it with freaking Kashin too. Whenever someone gets a black Jin, you automatically know their character's going to be ruined. Like it's one thing to. It would be one thing if it was actually built up well, like for instance Gaara and Nagato and Naruto. In those two cases, it was done perfectly. It was done very, very well, executed well. But here it's done poorly because it was rushed. There wasn't enough build up to him changing. There was build up to him becoming like going over the edge in terms of like falling into depravity and all that. But there was no build up of him coming back down. There was no build up at all. It just happened like that. I mean, it makes no sense. It's executed so poorly, and it's all because of the power of friendship feeling shonen crap. And the Magi does this all the time. And what made it worse is that not only did she have that happen, but then she added on top of that this stuff with this emotional crap with Mogamet and Yamaraya that no one gives a crap about because it's a storyline that was literally introduced this episode and concluded in this episode. As a matter of fact, it was over the span of like what 5-6 minutes. You can't introduce a storyline and then 5 minutes later end it and expect us to care. That makes no sense. We don't know about all this stuff. You're introducing all this stuff and you expect us to care instantly? No, we can't because you just introduced it. Right? I don't care if Mogamet what rescued Yamaraya because she was going to be killed that day because she was born a magician in the Lusterstream Empire and she was in part of the royal family and all this stuff because you should have introduced that long ago. You should have hinted at that long ago. You can't introduce that and expect us 5 seconds later to care when Yamaraya loses Mogamet because we never even knew how much she cared about him in the first place. I mean, you can't put an arc's worth of development in 5 minutes. That's just not how that's not how writing works. All right, this seems stupid. The greater majority of this episode was stupid. All right, everything up through here was stupid. This stuff included, it was stupid. All right, it was done poorly. It was just executed poorly, and the outcome itself was stupid. It was just stupid. All right. And he ends up dying. Woohoo! Great. That's the one good thing to come of this. All right. But and you see all these sad scenes. Blah blah blah. Titus goes to meet Ugo in the Sacred Palace, and then we see the scene of Sinbad facing off with Koen. All right. He announces that the Seven Seas Alliance has allied with the Lame Empire, which he does that a lot. Allied people with the Seven Seas Alliance. He does that every arc, like, or every saga, I should say. It's like he throws out those invitations like that. But whatever. He does it, and then Koen decides, you know what? You want to do that? Then how about this? I claim the Magi that you think is yours. All right. And they start turning this into like a comedic moment, which I found hilarious because they just spent all that time trying to get us to pretend like we actually care about Mogamet dying, trying to make it look like it's a sad thing when it's really not because no one gives a crap. And then right after that, they put in comedy and prove that yeah, we really don't give a crap because these guys who are supposed to be sad are now laughing and having a good time with their comedic skits, grabbing Aladdin and saying, "No, he's mine, ha ha ha." All right, and then freaking Alibaba and Koha go in after that too. It's like it just proves that Mogamet dying really wasn't that big of a deal. It really wasn't that sad. If you can put in comedy right after that, it just shows that you didn't care that much, and neither did they, because they were able to laugh like that. All right, but whatever. All right, whatever. I've ranted enough about the piece of crap that is Matao Mogamet. All right. After that, we see Gyokuen and her men, and they're explaining that Ugo can pretty much send the Rook of Amagi, or Scheherazade specifically, to another Scheherazade clone and make that clone the new Magi because there are 3 Magi that exist in the world at all times. So if one dies, another one has to be made right away. So excluding Aladdin and excluding Aladdin and Gyokuin because they're not of that world, so they don't count towards that 3 Magi limit. If that wasn't clear already, then there you go. Um, but yeah, essentially what Ugo does, he sends Scheherazade's the root of a Magi into the Scheherazade clone that was back in the Lame Empire. And as far as the spirit that is living inside that clone, he sends, rather than Scheherazade to revive her, essentially, he sends Titus. So Titus is back. I just couldn't catch a break in this episode. I really couldn't. All the characters that I disliked the most from this arc, I just couldn't catch a break. All right, but whatever. We ended the episode off on a good note, at least. Judal, we saw Judal and Hakuryu again. Judal gathered the remaining black group that was there, and Hakuryu confirmed his turn to the dark side. Excuse me. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the episode. And I'll give this episode a 4 out of 10. Because you think about the stuff that happened in this episode. There was like information we learned about, the Sacred Palace, what Ugo can do with Magi's Rook and like reviving people pretty much. He can send the spirit of someone who has died already into that new Magi so that they can essentially be revived as a Magi. That's like important information, but I mean the rest of the episode, I mean, come on, I mean, you have all these strong people show up in this epic manner, and you have them all attack the medium with their strongest attacks, and it literally just it doesn't do anything, and you're forced to think there is nothing that can possibly destroy the medium, and then the one thing that can destroy is the power of friendship and feelings. It's like, I mean, some people might say, yeah, well, that's a theme in Magi. I don't care if it's a theme in Magi because it's a bad theme. It doesn't matter if it's a theme in Magi. It doesn't mean the fact that it's not good. All right, so I mean, I could write a story and the theme is that someone gets revived every time they die. But it's not. But just because it's the theme in my story doesn't mean it's going to be stupid whenever someone dies, and I try to make it look like it's some big deal when it's really not, and everyone knows it, you know. So just because something's a theme in the series doesn't make it that doesn't excuse the failure in the quality of the writing. All right, so you build up this medium as being this incredibly tough thing that can't be beaten by anything, and then it's friendship feelings, typical shonen crap that beats it. That's stupid. That's just stupid. Then you have that scene, the stuff with Mogamet, which was also just bad. All right, and then you have Titus coming back, which some people will probably like. Personally, I don't. But as far as like story goes, it's good because it's relevant. The fact that Ugo can do that you can something like that can happen in the Sacred Palace is relevant to the story. So especially once you start to, well, no, let me not spoil anything, but yeah, it is relevant. So that's like, even though I don't like it, I can at least, I'm not going to let my personal feelings get in the way of of objectively rating the episode. But in the cases of the previous two things, Mokumet and the friendship feelings crap, that my personal feelings match up with like the objective rate of the objective review, I guess, of what's going on there. It's the objective assessment, I guess you could call it. Okay, it's just it's just bad writing with the. I've talked about this for long enough. Okay, point is that I didn't really like anything in the episode except for Hakuryu and Judal, or Judar, whichever you prefer. Some the translations vary, but I can at least admit that the Titus stuff is relevant to the series and good. So I don't like it, but it's still good. But the rest of the episode was just bad, so I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Um, and yeah, that's it. If I had to give a rating to the series overall, I would give it an 8 out of 10. By series, I mean like the season, the Kingdom of Magic, not the Labyrinth of Magic, the Kingdom of Magic. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. There were actually a lot of really good moments in the series. This is that there were a lot of moments in the series that, weren't too great, like all the anime original crap in the beginning and the filler and all this stuff, changing everything up, and then it's there's just a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 and say it was great when they had a decent number of things pulling it down. So I think it's fair to give it an 8 out of 10. And that's that. All right. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.